Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Today's webinar topic is Acumatica Commerce Edition Overview. I'm Michaela Terenzio, Customer Marketing Manager here at Acumatica, and I'll be your moderator today. Joining me today, I have Josh Fisher, the Senior Product Manager for the Commerce Edition in Acumatica. Our agenda for today, first we'll get an overview of Acumatica's Commerce Edition, and then Josh is going to go into a demo for the majority of our time together, and then we will come back for some Q&A at the end. And before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping items. You can go ahead and chat any questions as you are joining the call throughout the presentation that you have in the Q&A chat box at the bottom of your console. And we'll get to as many of those as we can at the end of today's webinar. But anyone who asks a question that we're not able to follow up with live on today's call, we will follow up with you via email one-on-one after the webinar. And today's webinar will be recorded and it will be available on demand after the call. And lastly, we just want to get a little bit of a sense of who is joining us on the call live today. So there's a quick poll question here of why are you attending today's webinar? You can give us a little bit of a sense of what brought you to this call today. And with that, without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Josh.
Great. Thank you, Michaela. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you're located. My name is Josh Fisher. I'm the Senior Product Manager of the Commerce Edition here at Acumatica. Just to give you a little bit of background on me, I've been working in the ERP/e-commerce space for about 7 years now. I've been especially focused on mid-market size businesses, spent a lot of time focused on B2B e-commerce, but now I focus on B2B and B2C equally. Really what's important to me is helping businesses manage their business within their ERP and getting information out onto the web so that their customers can learn about their products and place orders and do research on their own and use all these great modern tools that we have in order to engage with those customers. So today, we're going to take a look at our Commerce Edition, which includes a native integration to an e-commerce platform called BigCommerce. That's what we're going to look at today. But before we get started, let me just give you a little bit of background about the Commerce Edition. So internally, we refer to the Commerce Edition as a commerce-enabled ERP. And what I mean by that is the ERP itself is a really strong foundation. When it comes to software, it's a really strong foundation for every business, whether you're a distributor or a manufacturer or a retail business. The ERP serves as that central hub for the whole company. It's the place that all the employees log into and everyone's engaged inside the ERP. It's what you're using for managing your customers, your accounting, your inventory, projects, if that's important to you. Everything's inside the ERP. And when we talk about our Commerce Edition being a commerce-enabled ERP, what we mean is that we're adding a layer to the ERP that then connects the ERP to third-party applications for online sales. And that could be e-commerce platforms, it could be marketplaces, it could be something completely different, maybe a customer portal or something like that. But what's important is that those third-party applications essentially become an extension of your ERP. Instead of having this middleware that's just pushing and pulling information back and forth, and the two systems really, they're not in touch with each other. They're not recognizing changes that happen on each system. What we're doing is we're building these native integrations between our ERP and these third-party applications so that, in this case, BigCommerce becomes an extension of the ERP. When something updates inside the ERP, which is where you should be managing all your data, when something updates in the ERP, BigCommerce is going to know about it immediately. And vice versa, if an order is placed on the e-commerce site, that should have the capability to flow right into your ERP as a sales order as soon as the customer submits their order. So that's a little bit about the concept. Like I said, in our case, what we've done is we've built the Commerce Connector, and it includes a native integration to BigCommerce. That's what we're going to be showing you today. And we're using the REST APIs that Acumatica has built, and then also the BigCommerce has built, to offer a real-time integration between the ERP and BigCommerce. It doesn't have to be real-time. I've definitely talked with customers that because of the amount of volume that they do, having a real-time integration is not realistic for them. They want it to be scheduled, or maybe they want it to be manual. But the system has the capability of being real-time. And just talking about the technology itself, like I said before, the Commerce Connector is actually a layer inside the ERP itself. We're not using an external system. We're not using a third-party application. Acumatica built the connector ourselves, and it lives within the ERP, which I'll show you later today. So that connector takes data from the ERP. It's able to send it out to the e-commerce platform, which, of course, turns into the website that your customers are using. And, of course, when those customers view products and place orders, that information is then flowing back into the connector and then becoming data inside your ERP. Okay. Now, when we think about what is integrated between the two systems, there's many different entities which we've covered, everything from customers, products, payments and sales orders, the things that you would expect. But we've also gone so far as to include integrations between, say, our price lists. So if you're a B2B seller and you're offering negotiated rates to some of your customers, of course, you're going to be setting up those rates inside your ERP. And what we've done is we've made it possible that those rates can then be extended out to the e-commerce platform. So when that customer logs into the e-commerce site, they're going to see all their customer-specific pricing, which is managed inside the ERP. Okay, and that's not, it doesn't have to be just one number. For instance, this customer gets 10% off all products. It could be a product-by-product calculation. It could be based on product categories. There's obviously a lot of different formulas that businesses use, and those formulas can be supported in the ERP, which is then pushed out to the e-commerce system. So we cover a lot of different entities, and in addition to the entities that we cover, the system itself out of the box supports so many features. So if you're familiar with the e-commerce world or you've been selling online for a long time, you know that there's a lot of things that customers expect to be able to do on their e-commerce sites or on your e-commerce site. They expect to be able to, for instance, buy gift certificates and be able to pass those gift certificates on to friends and family. It's really important in the B2C world to be able to give people the ability to buy gift certificates. And knowing how ERPs work, a gift certificate is almost a foreign concept. Naturally, ERPs were built for distributors and manufacturers who are doing a lot of their business in person or over the phone. So this topic of a gift certificate didn't really come up before, not unless you're a retail company, right? But in the retail world, because gift certificates are so important, we needed to be able to support that kind of functionality with our system, which we've been able to accomplish. Gift certificates are represented as non-stock items inside of the ERP. And then you can set up a gift certificate payment method so that whenever customers use those gift certificates, the payment is at least recorded inside your system. So that's just one example. A lot of different features come out of the box with the system. And I'm just going to show you, just a brief overview of some of those features today. So let's go ahead and dive into the demo with the system. Now, while I'm getting this fired up, I just want to say this is a pretty fast demo. I'm going to go through this quickly. There's a lot of things that I would love to show you. If you have questions or if you would like a more personalized demo, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us at info@acumatica.com, or even better, the chat box here in the webinar today. Don't hesitate to just ask for a personalized demo. We can set up a meeting and talk with you specifically about your business and your needs, and we'll show you how our system could solve some of those business challenges. Okay, so here we're inside an instance of Acumatica 2020 R1. I'm also logged into the back end of BigCommerce. BigCommerce is, as I mentioned before, it's an e-commerce platform. It's a SaaS-based e-commerce platform. It has features out of the box that support B2B and B2C customers. That's really why we focus on it so heavily. It serves both of those audiences. Very powerful platform. It's SaaS, so there's a lot of things you don't have to worry about, like security and updates and things like that. But it's also very flexible. One of the things that we love about it is how flexible the system is. It's not flexible like an open source platform, but it's really close to being that flexible. They open up a lot of their database to the API, and you can mold the system into whatever you need it to be. They really believe in this headless approach. Okay, so we have BigCommerce connected to an instance of Acumatica, and here's our demo website, which is obviously what's the customer's looking at and what is connected to the ERP. So let's just go ahead and dive in. As you see, it's a standard website, everything that you're used to seeing. This was a standard out-of-the-box build with BigCommerce. I just installed a template that looked nice. We're going to go in and look at one of these cameras here. Okay, the first thing I want to point out is when we look at this camera, there's obviously a lot of information about the camera. The title, these photographs, the SKU, these attributes, which are specific to cameras. I'm even seeing inventory levels. We scroll down a little bit. There's a whole product description, videos, everything's here, and reviews. Everything on this page, except for the reviews, is coming from the ERP. Everything here that you're seeing is coming from the ERP. If we go into the ERP, I'm going to pull up my inventory section, go into stock items. Then I'm going to do a quick search for 7500, which is the name of that camera. Here's that Nikon. And when we pull up this stock item, you'll see that the ERP houses so much information about products for your warehouse details, your vendor details, pricing information. But if we go down and look at the e-commerce tab, this is where you're going to find those YouTube videos. Here's all your search engine optimization text. There are search keywords and meta keywords. We jump over to the description. We have a WYSIWYG for managing rich media content. This all gets pushed out to the website. And then if we go and look at the attributes, this is where all the photos are located. The photos can be uploaded right to the ERP. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. You could host them on a separate server, and it's an easy process. But in this case, all these photos have been uploaded directly to the ERP, which gets passed over to the website. And here are those attributes, which are product specific. Sales category is related to what we see up here in the main menu. All these sales categories inside the ERP match up to these main menu navigation items where you can drill down to specific products. And obviously the ERP has many sales categories. We don't want all of them on the website, so we can just tell the system which should appear and which ones should not. Okay, so now we're looking at this item. I'm going to go ahead and add it to stock. Notice too, I did point out that the inventory is here. Not everybody wants to be able to see inventory numbers. I just do that for demo purposes. You could make the customer experience whatever you want it to be. I just like the fact that, that number can come over to BigCommerce, and you can base the customer experience on that number, meaning when the stock gets low, take the product down, or maybe put the item on pre-order so people can buy the product now, but send them a message that says, we're not going to ship this for a month or two. Okay. What we call this is a simple product. It's just one title, one price, one SKU. But then, as you are likely guessing, there are other types of products which you buy online, which we call products with variants. And what that is a T-shirt's a perfect example. There's one design of a T-shirt, but this T-shirt comes in many different sizes and colors. So let me drill down to this blue shirt in extra large. And really what I'm doing as I go through the process of selecting a specific size and color is I'm telling the system exactly which SKU I want to buy. Okay? If I change this from blue to red, it's going to switch to a different SKU. notice too, if I change this from extra large to 2X, it changes the price. So in reality, this product page, which seems to the customer as one product, is actually representing around 20 different SKUs, a matrix inventory feature. So you can create your one template product, which is your Summit Electronics t-shirt, but then using that template, you can then create the many different matrix items, which make up all these different sizes and colors and unique prices inside the ERP in the click of a button. And then from there, you can export them out to your e-commerce system, and the e-commerce system will automatically generate this page for you so that customers can learn about these products and add them to their cart. Let's just go ahead and add one of these to our cart as well. And then we'll proceed to checkout. Now, when we get to the checkout page, one thing that I want to point out, notice that the camera here is $14.99 and the t-shirt's $24. Now, I am on the website right now as an anonymous user. I'm a guest, and the system's telling me if I want to check out as a guest, that's okay. But actually what I want to do is I want to sign in as a business customer. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in my information. I log in, and see, as a business customer, I have customer-specific pricing inside the ERP that's been set up. So I receive a discount on this Nikon. I don't receive a discount on the t-shirt for whatever reason, but I do receive a discount on the camera. And that, again, that is all configured inside the ERP, and it gets pushed over to the e-commerce system. And once I log in, the system knows everything about me. It knows all my different addresses. It obviously knows my pricing, negotiated pricing. So I'm able to go through and choose the addresses that are associated with my customer record inside the ERP. Of course, if I added a new address here, that would get pushed over to the ERP, and vice versa. If I called in to make an order and I had a new address associated with my record, that would also come over to the e-commerce site. In this case, I'm just going to choose the same address for both shipping and billing. We get down here to the shipping options. For this demo, I only have flat fee shipping options set up, but you could do lots of things here. You could integrate with your standard carriers like FedEx or UPS. If you use a system like ShipStation, it's completely possible to integrate both Acumatica and BigCommerce with ShipStation, and then you have this triangular connection between all those different systems. Many businesses handle shipping in many different ways. So in this case, I just have flat fee shipping set up, and I also have a rule set up so that if my cart equals more than $1,000, I get free shipping. In this case, I'm just going to choose $7, and we're going to continue. When we get to the billing, for the demo, I only have my test payment gateway set up for credit cards, but as a B2B seller, maybe I want to allow customers to check out with terms. Maybe I want to allow them to check out with their net 30 terms, or maybe I want to offer in-store pickup. All those things are possible with BigCommerce. In-store pickup, COD, many different options. Again, all businesses handle things a little bit differently, and both of these systems are set up to support it. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and check out with this credit card. We're going to process this. We have the ERP set up to pull in orders in real time. So this gives me an opportunity to show you the actual Commerce Connector inside the ERP. So if we go to this Commerce section here in the left sidebar, here are all the different tools that we have associated with the Commerce Connector. One of the things that was really important to us is we wanted to build a connector that anyone could manage. We didn't want our customers to have developers every time a simple change was needed. And what I mean by that is, imagine that you guys typically have a real-time integration with the system. And maybe we're coming up on a busy holiday weekend, and volume is going to be so high that you don't want to have the sales orders coming in real time. You want to have more control over it. You just want to set up a schedule. You have the ability to go into your real-time settings and either set up a schedule using the tools or turn off the real-time integration and just make everything manual. In addition to that, if you had, let's say, custom fields on your product pages, you set up custom fields inside the ERP, like those camera attributes that I showed you before, and you want those to be rendered on the website. Again, that's something that anybody with a little bit of experience with an ERP should be able to do on their own. You don't have to call a developer. You don't have to rely on external resources to get those kinds of things done. So there's lots of different features within the system in order to manage those entities, and then also to set up your one or multiple stores that you're connected to, okay? In this case, let's just go in and look at our sync status right now. Every time data is synchronized between the two systems, it's recorded here in the sync status page. And as you can see, this is the order that I just pushed through, and it's now telling me that it's synchronized. And I can go over to my sales orders and pull up the order. Okay, so here, here is that order on today's date. It says that it's BigCommerce order 193. That's what I have over here as well. Let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at it. Now, the sales order is everything that you would expect it to be. It's as if the customer called in and placed the order over the phone. The sales order is set up in the same format. Now, there's a lot that I could show you about the sales orders, but what I want to do right now is I want to just create this shipment, and I want to get this order shipped off because I want to show you the update inside of the BigCommerce system. So for now, we're going to go ahead and create the shipment. I'm going to go in here to the packages. I'm just going to make up a tracking number for this. Okay, obviously, if you were integrated with FedEx or UPS or many other systems, this will all happen for you automatically. We're going to go ahead and confirm this shipment. Now, just like the sales order came in real time, this shipment is actually being sent back to BigCommerce in real time. So again, if we go in and look at that sync status, we might be able to beat it. Here, if I pull up my shipments, yeah, it looks like it looks like it's still coming in. So if we go back to the website as that customer, and I go into my account, we'll see that the order's already shipped. Okay, so as soon as we shipped it from inside the ERP, it sent that update back to BigCommerce. It also included the tracking number here. Obviously, I could print this invoice for my records, which would be very helpful. I can go back and look at all my past orders. In case I want to find a product that I want to order again, it's very easy for me to click on one of those items and then go down here and use their reorder feature. Lots of features inside the BigCommerce system, 100% supported with the ERP. Okay, so that's everything that I wanted to show you today. Like I said before, there's so much more that I could go into, like promotions and discounts and merchandising. But if you want to go into a deeper demo, or if your business has specific challenges that you'd like to get answers about and find out if this system supports, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Either email us at info@acumatica.com, or like I said, just chat with us in the chat window there during the webinar today, and we can work with you to arrange something. Okay, and Michaela, do you want to take a look at, are there any questions that are coming in?
Yeah, so thanks, Josh, for that overview. You packed in a lot of content into a little bit of time there. So we do have a lot of questions coming in. Again, everyone, like Josh mentioned, we're probably not going to be able to get to every one of your questions live right now, but for everyone else, we'll follow up with you by email afterwards. So keep those coming in. Okay, Josh, so the first question is, we're a B2B company, but we want to experiment with direct-to-consumer sales. Is it possible for us to do both of those on one website?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the quick answer is yes, it is possible. What you have to think about is the customer experience. When you're engaging with and I'm sure you're already thinking about this, but this is generally for everyone. So when you're engaging with a business, the business typically wants a different experience than the standard consumer. And with the system, you can organize your customers into different groups. So you can have customers that fall within the business group and the customers that fall within the consumer group. And anyone that's anonymous anyone that's a guest to the customer that's not signed in, they would just fall within that consumer group. Once those individuals log into the system, you could actually, it would take a little bit of customization, but the system itself, the website, could be altered to create a customer experience that's appropriate for the consumers versus the business customers. So to answer your question, yes, it's definitely possible, and it's definitely possible to use one website to speak to both of those audiences.
Fantastic. Okay, the next question that we have is, our customers all refer to our products with different unique names. Can we make it easy for customers to find exactly what they're looking for?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So I've heard this before. Okay. So just for others, let me explain the question. So let's take the auto industry, for instance. In the auto industry, there are automotive parts which have a manufactured name. Maybe it's just a certain type of air filter, for instance. Okay. But within the community of mechanics, or within the community of people that rebuild old cars or restore old cars, they all have their own names for those different products. They either call them by a part number, or they call them almost like a slang term that everybody refers to the part as. So the question, that's where the question's rooted. You have one product, and that one product has one proper name, but there's many different communities that refer to that one product in different ways. Okay, this is great. So let me go in and pull up that inventory item that I was talking about earlier. So this is that camera that I showed you, and when we go into the e-commerce tab here, notice that there's a meta keywords field, and then there's a search keywords field. The meta keywords field is search engine optimization info that is going to be shared with your search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo. Okay, and it's professionals in the industry would tell you that they pay less attention to these fields anymore. But where they're really important, especially the search keywords here, where they're really important is that the actual website search engine will use these terms to index this product, okay? So when somebody goes to the website and they search for a term that's within this field, something like digital single lens reflex, if we search for that on the BigCommerce site, this product is going to be returned. So in your case, if you have 4 different audiences of people and they talk about the same product in 4 different ways, what you would want to do is just represent each of those 4 terms here, and then that information will get saved to the website so that people will be able to search for those terms on the website and they would find whatever it is that they're looking for. And it's like an extra bonus. If you can fit that information into the description somewhere, then Google will index it as well.
All right, great. Thank you for that answer, Josh. Okay, it looks like we only have time for one more question, but everyone else, we will follow up with you after the call. So the last question is, can we give existing customers access to their offline order history?
Existing, yeah. So, okay, so let's say that you've been running an ERP for years, and you have customers that you've been engaging with for 5 years, and now you're adding a website, and you have, let's say, 5 years of order history with those customers. And it is really beneficial for those customers to be able to access past information if they can, right? What's nice about this integration, like I said before, we really want BigCommerce to be an extension of the ERP. So let me see if I have an example. What you can do is you can configure the ERP to send online orders and offline orders to BigCommerce. So if you have a customer that, let's say they place 90% of their orders they place online. Obviously, all those orders are going to be represented in their My Account area, right? But then let's just say they call in and they place an order over the phone. You can also configure the system to then push that information out to the website as well. I think this is an order that I placed through the ERP in the past, and this is actually being represented inside the BigCommerce site. So with a little bit of configuration, this can be done. It's all out of the box. There's nothing custom to accomplish. And if you have, let's say your rules go a little bit deeper, like you want customers, the majority of customers, online and offline orders, but then you have customers that maybe they're, well, I don't know, their history is too big or something, or maybe they don't want access to all that information. They only want access to their online orders. You do have the ability to manipulate who sees what, again, out of the box with the features inside the connector itself.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you so much for showing this to us. All right. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. We are out of time now, and we thank you so much for your time today, for all of your interesting questions and engagement on this call, and thank you to Josh for giving us such a great insight onto Acumatica Commerce Edition in this overview. Again, if you'd like to learn more, you can request a custom demo in the Q&A chatbot here, or also there's a request a demo form in the webinar console if you'd like to learn more. And thank you, everyone, so much for your time and participation. And with that, have a great day. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. See you guys.